So welcome back to Gumad's Coins and Banknotes. Today we're going to review the next coin series after this one for Yugoslavia. So my name is Glenn, this is Gumad Coin and Banknotes, and in today's video is going to settle on the period from 1982 to 1988. So the value of the Yugoslav dinar in 1981, when these coins were still in circulation, although the 5 para probably was not used, was around about 29 dinars equals $1, and need to divide that by 4 to put in today's currency. So really this one was worth equivalent of 33 cents, which times that by 4 is probably about $1.20 these days. So that's the equivalent value. Okay, so in 1982, because of inflation, so in 1971 it was valued at 17 dinar, and in 1966 it was 12.5. So as you can see, there's a slow devaluation. So in 1982 they issued a 25 para coin. So they didn't replace the 20 with a small one, they just changed the denomination. But the other ones are the same, so they issued a 50 para, and as you can see these are smaller. They issued a smaller one, 2, 5 and a 10 dinar coin. So these were issued in 1982, and over the period these were also slowly removed from circulation. So the older larger coins could have probably been used up until 1985 when they were demonetized, but these ones were not demonetized until they actually had a revaluation in 1989. Okay, so these coins are quite simple in design. So the highest denomination, we have the 4 languages around there in the denominations. We have the date down below, and on the front of the coin, so the front of the coin is the coat of arms. We still have the communist coat of arms of Yugoslavia with Cyrillic up the top and Croatian down below. So the smallest denomination, 25 para, is only issued 1982 and 83. And the lowest mintage is 65 million for 1983, so really it's a common coin, and it is manganese brass. So brass in this is copper and zinc, so it's 94.5% copper, 5% zinc, so it's pretty much 95% brass, and it's got 0.5%. No, yeah, 0.5% manganese, I should say. So it's 99.5% brass with a little bit of manganese, and that would actually prevent it from being corroded. Okay, the 50 para coin is issued 1982, 83, 84. Lowest mintage 84 is 59,642,000. And it says in sets only, so most likely is that that was not issued for 1984. And yeah, it's probably at least 50,000 sets. So really, it'll be a common coin. Okay, the next 3 denominations, the 1, 2, and 5, are nickel brass, so 75% copper, 21% zinc, so that's a brass aspect, and 4% nickel. So the nickel would just made it a lot harder, and also lighter in colour, so these are yellow. Okay, so this was minted from 1982 to 1986, these 3 coins. Lowest mintage 41 dinar is 1985 with 64 million, so that's a very common coin, and it's 3.6 grams, 20 millimeters. The 2 is 4.3 grams, 22 millimeters, and the 5 is 5.6 grams and 24 millimeters. So the lowest mintage for the 2 dinar is 1983, 35 million. So you can see a common fact that all these are high minted coins, and the demographics of Yugoslavia at the time, there was, through the time period, 22 to 23 million people in Yugoslavia at the time. Okay, so the 5 dinar, it's also nickel brass, the lowest mintage is 1984 with 33 million. So really, then we got the 10 dinar, which is copper nickel, 61% copper, 20% zinc, so that should make it a brass, and 90% nickel, so that should make it a nickel brass, pretty much content, not copper nickel. And the 10 dinar, the lowest mintage is 1982 with 8,862,000. So it's getting a bit lower, but these ones are quite common. And this is for the hard dinar of the inflation period. This is the coin that was in circulation for the longest period of time, from 1982 to 88. Okay, in 1985. So because of inflation, pretty much these two were out of circulation, but I'll just keep them there. But they issued 3 new denominations. They issued a 20 dinar, and that coin is 6.5 grams, 25 millimeters. They issued a 50 dinar, that's 7.6 grams, 27 millimeters. And the largest denomination they issued was the 100 dinar. This one seems to be quite easy to get. And this coin is 8.7 grams, 29 millimeters. So the biggest coin of the time period. And this is not the last of the coin series of the hard dinar, because in the next time period, so 1989, 88, 89, because of inflation, they issued a 10, 20 and a 50 dinar coin series. We'll have a look at those in the next video, which will be quite short. Okay, so this one was only minted from 1985 to 87, so this is the last year of issue, 39 million. The lowest minted coin is 1985 with 5 million. Doesn't seem too hard to get. This one is the most common. The 50 dinar also has the same mintage era, except they ended in 1988. And the lowest minted coin you're going to get is this one here, 1986, with 20,353,000. As you can see, there's nothing special. These are not really spectacular collector's coins, you know. They don't have a somewhat good design. Now, like this South Vietnamese coin is actually quite nice because it's scalloped, or even current Japanese coins. So have a pretty good design, you know, but there's nothing special about these ones. They are not anything special like this Japanese 50 cent, which I'm going to do continue this coin series. Anyway, so that's why these are all cheap value, and also the high mintage of these coins makes them that they're never going to increase in any value unless they're error coins. Okay, the highest denomination is the 100 dinar, and the lowest minted coin you're going to get is 1986 with 17.9 million. This one, 1987, 97 million. So this is going to be the most common of the series. And it seems like all the other 100 dinars I've got are pretty much 87. Yes, they're all the same date. As far as I know, there's no varieties in these type of coins, so indicates that quality control at the mint increased during this time period to remove any type of irregularities in the coin. Anyway, so that's basically it. So realistically, you should be paying $1 or less for these coins because they're all pretty common, but they're actually quite nice. So in 1989, these coins have been removed. These were no longer in circulation, so these denominations were really the last ones that they used for this big inflationary period until 1994, in which they had hyperinflation after this period.